and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sean.
And no BSing tonight. I don't know what that was. But we're not going to fuck around.
That was the BS you get. That was me trying to fight off a burp.
Because we didn't do shit. We got nothing to talk about, so we're just going to talk about books.
Well, we got
shit to do.
I mean, well, here's the thing. So, I'll just say this much. I got a new job, and I work for WWE producing podcasts. And I'm saying I'm putting this out there because I can, because it's on my Twitter bio. So right. I guess if you did see it, you could be like, oh, there that is. Yeah. But very excited, and I've been very busy with that the past couple of weeks, and I got to do some traveling, and realized I didn't have any blazers.
Yeah, we just made an emergency run to Kohl's.
An emergency blazer purchase.
It was an emergency blazer run.
Which I guess that means I'm an adult.
You're an adult now.
I am an adult man because I had emergency blazer purchases in the snow nonetheless too. Because it's a little bit
shitty out.
It's kind of shitty out, and I was like, I guess I have to do this. But we did it. So here we are.
Here we are, and we're going to talk about books.
Yeah, so...
Or a book.
We'll talk about our book for this week. Our book for this week is Wonder Woman Volume 1, number 201 from August 1972. This issue in particular is coming from our trade Diana Prince Wonder Woman Volume 4, which we found this at
Mile
High. Yep. And I
didn't even know there was a volume 1. I didn't.
No, there's a volume 4, and this is
volume fucking 4.
And what's even wilder is that this trade came out in 2008.
Yeah, and I had no idea.
So it's already been out.
And I've literally never seen it before.
This trade has been out for 12 years,
and I never saw it.
And we've never known about it.
It's true.
And this is pretty much like, I guess it pretty much just covers the entire run of her as, the Wonder Woman. Not really Wonder Woman. It has other stuff in it. We have 2 and I think we have 1 and 4. 2 and 4 maybe.
2 and 4, I think.
Yeah. So we figured we haven't busted this one out yet, so I figured it would be a good one to check out. And actually, this was your suggestion.
Yes.
I should give you credit for this.
Yeah, well, because I specifically bought this, 1 because I'd never seen it, and 2 because I figured there were probably things on here that we could read on the show.
100%.
Yeah.
So we are doing issue number 201 from 1972. On the cover, it has Diana Prince Wonder Woman, and this is back when DC. I kind of like how the old DC comics used to be.
Yeah.
Let me actually see if I can get a full image.
Like the 70s version.
Yeah, I just like the with the big banner at the top.
The very 70s font.
You don't have the DC bullet, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, you still have DC.
No, you do, but you don't have the bullet logo.
Right.
And and this is the logo or the font for Wonder Woman. It kind of looks like it's like a spooky ghost.
It looks like a spooky ghost, but it also looks like something you would see right before a really psychedelic, a bunch of people dancing around.
It's one of those ones where they have the character standing on the side. The full character. Because you did it for Batman or Superman. They did it for the big ones. Mm-hmm. So, or maybe do it for all of them. But yeah, so Wonder Woman on this cover, she is locked in a duel with Catwoman.
Yes, in my least favorite Catwoman costume.
Yeah.
This is the one from, obviously, the early 70s where it's the blue tights with the blue leotard and, the pirate boots. And,
look at those cuffs.
Yeah, with the big old cuffs and, the weird... I never did like this outfit. It was a short-lived one.
Actually, I feel like it around for quite a while.
Well...
Because I feel
I will say I have never seen anybody cosplaying this particular costume.
You don't see many. I don't think anybody's ever cosplayed this.
Yeah, maybe one person out there.
Somebody should.
So I'm sure somebody has.
You got to do the obscure ones.
Yeah, that is definitely an obscure one because I don't think I've ever seen it.
Because there are many obscure. Actually, you could cosplay this Wonder Woman.
Oh, absolutely.
You could just wear some kind of
you just look
hippie go-go outfit blazers.
She's got that hippie go-go white dress most of the time, and then she has this winter outfit. We'll talk about why.
Winter outfit.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that Catwoman's outfit does have a tail.
It does have a tail.
A useless tail.
A completely useless tail.
Completely useless
no whip,
tail.
just tail.
Completely useless tail that will catch flame because in this particular one, basically
they're fighting over fire.
Catwoman and Wonder Woman are fighting over a pit of fire. They're both tethered to some wires.
They both have swords.
And it's basically this. Why are Diana and the Catwoman locked in a death duel? And what is the Fist of Flame?
Great question. Let's find out.
Featuring the incredible I-Ching. Yes, we are in the I-Ching verse of the Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he's not still around.
Oh no, he died.
He had to have.
He actually died 3 issues later.
Well, he's an old man.
No, he got sniped to death.
Oh, he's also an old blind man.
He was also an old man. I guess that doesn't change things, but yeah, he got murdered by a random sniper, and then Wonder Woman. That pretty much like ended the bullshit. Actually, we might have that in here.
Oh shit! I didn't know that was in here.
What the hell are some of these?
It's hard because they don't have. Like,
this is what. Yeah, go ahead and explain this.
So in this trade, a lot of times with trades, they break up the issues by putting the cover. This does not do that. It has like a splash page that has both covers on it, and then it'll run 2 issues together, and then another splash page with the 2 covers, and then run the issues together. So it's really hard to tell where this issue begins and ends, unless you literally look at the hand-drawn page numbers on the comic book, not the page numbers of the book, the ones on the comic book itself. So kind of frustrating to try to figure out where the hell this stuff begins and ends. So whether or not we have this, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So it
doesn't matter.
Here's the death of I-Ching. Basically, we're not going to talk about this issue, but
maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day, but basically a bunch of people are getting shot, and then a married couple, both of them get shot while driving in an open car, and that car drives into a restaurant.
And it kills I-Ching.
No, it doesn't.
No.
I-Ching is just like, oh shit, I gotta get out of the way. And then he's like, did anybody die in the car? And Wonder Woman's like, yeah. And then he gets shot and dies. Basically, she ends up fighting this dude that did the shooting, gets amnesia while fighting him, then ends up back at Paradise Island, and we just forget about all this dumb shit with her and her Wonder Woman mod outfit. Anyways,
does she go back to being regular Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I think that's where she goes back to being.
Because regular. She does sell her boutique in this issue.
I wonder what the time period we're talking about here is, but like. I mean, in terms of time frame,
right?
Because she places an ad, and then like the next issue.
Oh my god! Like it's nighttime, and she's like, "Hello, I'd like to place a classified ad," and then like literally the next panel, she's like, "I've sold my store."
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about
that. We start off with Wonder Woman and I-Ching. They are in whatever city they live in. I assume either New York or Boston.
I don't remember.
I don't know where she lives.
I know she has lived at Boston in the past, but I don't know if that's...
In the 90s, she was living in Boston.
I don't know if that's where this takes place or not. She's also lived in, like, D.C. and shit. I don't know. I honestly don't know where this is.
So they go to...
They're in a city.
They're in a city, and they're going to find...
there's, like, a friend, a private investigator that Wonder Woman is friends with, and his name is Johnny...
Johnny Double.
Johnny Double.
Johnny Double, who I did look him up.
Did he ever show up in this book?
Yeah, he did. Well, he shows up. Well, he shows up.
He doesn't come out in this book.
Oh, that's right. They go to his office, but he does show up later, and I guess eventually, and then he ends up dying in Crisis. But here's actually, but here's the thing. We're not even getting to this book, but here I want to read. I just want to read this.
Tell me what happened to that guy.
Well, he died in Crisis.
Is that it?
He was fudging around in Crisis somewhere, and this is what it says. During the Crisis on it is according to the DC Wiki. During the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Double attended a detectives convention and was present when the villain Angleman was killed.
Angleman.
I don't know how those two things are connected.
They're not.
And I've read Crisis. I don't remember like a detectives convention and then be like, oh no, it's Angleman, and then he just dies.
What's Angleman doing these days?
I don't know.
I don't think it matters. Anyway.
Angleman actually,
How does Angleman work?
I will say this, and I'll just explain it. Angleman is an active participant in one of the Wonder Woman pornos.
Did we see that?
No, there's 2 though. Because there's one that came out Or maybe wait.
Was he like, I'm at 90 degrees?
I don't know. No, I remember. Okay, you know what? Actually,
I form an angle.
my hypotenuse is hard, or whatever.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think it's just the one Wonder Woman parody. He's in it. Dr. Fate's in it. Dr. Fate's joining in because Dr. Fate was also in the Batman v Superman one.
Yes,
but he didn't do anything.
No, but he had a really great costume.
But the costume was great. Yeah.
Oh, such a fantastic costume.
See, that's the kind of thing I kind of want to see that Wonder Woman one because I want to see the Dr. Fate and I want to see what's going on. I want to see who else is in it.
Well, maybe we'll have to watch it for the kid. Is there a story mode? Because there was a story mode on the other one.
You could do it. Yeah, that's right. You can watch the story mode and then
the story mode.
It's 10 minutes long.
I think the other one was a little longer, but yes, there is a story mode. So they go to this office and she's like, oh, it's my buddy. I forget why they're going there. And she's like, well, he's kind of a loser. She calls him a loser. She's like, he's kind of a loser, but yeah, I still like him and he's really fun. And I think you'll like him too. I-Ching, who, by the way, is he's literally yellow.
Yeah.
It's the 70s, but at the same time, you're like, oof. They're talking and she's like, oh, let's go upstairs. So they go up to this guy's office.
Well, here's the thing about I-Ching. I-Ching is he's like Sinbad. He's just constantly
he's always talking.
Always talking.
He's always got a fucking comment.
He's always like, wow, this place is old. I'm blind, but this place is old.
Yeah.
Or like
And literally no one listening to this has watched this show. So this is a reference from me. But this is like an AJ and the Queen when RuPaul's roommate or Ruby Red's roommate brings up the fact that he's fucking blind literally every time he's on camera. And he's always got something to say, and he's always making snarky comments.
Yep.
Anyway, that's what that is.
So Wonder Woman shows up, and she's
It's a really bad show, by the way.
What is that on? Oh, is that on
Netflix?
Netflix?
AJ and the Queen.
Have you watched it?
Oh, I binged the whole fucking thing.
It's a show.
It's a show. There's parts where you're like, oh, okay. And then there's parts where you're like, oh. So
why did RuPaul do this?
Well, he's not terrible, and he looks amazing. Oh my God, every time he's Ruby Red, that's his character. Oh. Gorgeous. Oh my God, perfect. The camera will get up close. Perfect, absolutely gorgeous. Man is fucking 50. He looks amazing. But anyway, sometimes he's a really good actor, and sometimes he's not a great actor, and it really just depends on what scene it is. So, yeah, anyway.
Right. So Wonder Woman walks in and she's like, oh shit, there's blood. And
so the office is trashed.
Yeah, office is trashed. There's blood on the floor. And all of a sudden, a closet bursts open filled with a bunch of assassins.
With like two dudes.
Is it just two dudes?
I think it's just the two.
Okay, it's just two.
And they are...
Why do they think that Wonder Woman was coming?
I don't know why they were there. It doesn't make any sense. So they're just like hanging out in the closet. Also, kind of looks like they're wearing a robe and slippers.
Pretty much.
Because they are Asian assassins. So you can imagine what they're drawn like. Mm. And they have knives. And so they start fighting I-Ching and they start fighting Wonder Woman.
And I-Ching, of course, he's
like a master.
And this is also kind of a thing where anytime, it's kind of like Poochie.
Yes.
Where Wonder Woman's when I-Ching's not talking, Wonder Woman is talking about I-Ching and how great he is.
Yeah. And how she's like his student or something.
She's having a lot of thoughts while kicking a dude in the face.
Yeah, she really does have a lot of thoughts.
It's a lot of thinking. I'm not thinking about that much if I'm ever in a physical situation like that.
So she gets the upper hand on one of these guys and he literally just jumps out a window. Yep. Out of a 7-story window and he dies.
Yep.
And then
I thought she kicked him out the window, but no, I think
it does look like she kicked him out. It says he jumped, but I'm going to say she kicked him.
Oh yeah. Oh no, he committed suicide.
Oh no, that man jumped. Wonder Woman's just murdering people.
And then meanwhile, another guy just
the other one just stabs himself.
Yep.
And then she's like, she tries to talk to him, but he doesn't say anything except
Fists of flame.
Fists of flame. And he dies. And Wonder Woman's like, what the fuck? And I-Ching's like, well, don't worry about it. I happen to recognize his dialect. And it's from a very remote mountain region in Tibet. So I bet that's where your friend is.
So it's a group of mountain men who who worship this gem, a giant ruby called the Fist of Flame, which if you look into it, it is cursed and it will drive you mad with greed.
Yes.
So,
so Wonder Woman's like, so she goes home.
Does she go home? I feel like she's...
Yeah, she goes home, and this is her at night. She's like having to think in the dark.
This is a very sensual, like...
Oh, yeah, she's drawn very sexy here.
Yeah. She's just sitting in the nightgown. She's like, oh, I'm so tired.
She's like, I should help my friend, but I don't really know.
She's like, I would do it, but I don't have any money.
Yeah, well, she's like, I don't know, and whatever. And so, like, she hears someone open her window, and they leave a note on her pillow that says, like, you must go find Johnny, you have to find the Fist of Flame.
Oh, yeah, this is where she's like...
And she's like, oh, man, I would totally do that, but I don't have any money. And she's like, oh, I have an idea. So then she picks up the phone and places a classified ad, and literally the next panel, she sells her entire boutique.
Which I think we mentioned, right?
We talked.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
She sells it to this, like, crazy lady with
She sells it to...
so many accessories, this woman.
You got this woman with a bunch of accessories, and she sells it to also a guy who looks like the lead singer of Urge Overkill.
Kind of also like Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson could play this guy.
Yeah. He's wearing sunglasses indoors.
He's wearing green sunglasses indoors.
Yeah.
Well, he's wearing like all green. She's wearing like all like
Pink?
magenta kind of thing.
But again, so many accessories.
Yeah, and so she just sells it.
Yeah.
You know, and she just walks in and it's like these people, and she's just, you don't see any, I mean, granted, you don't need to see the transaction, but it's just like, here it is. And he just gives her a check.
Yeah.
We don't know how much it's for.
But she sold it.
And she's like, yo,
cool.
I got money. I is rich.
So now she gets on a plane with I-Ching and they fly to Tibet. And on that plane, there is a blonde woman, and she's a very lovely blonde lady. And
who has a giant head. The way that she's drawn.
She's a bobblehead.
The way it's kind of like she has like a big paper mache head.
She kind of does. And so Wonder Woman's like, I've seen that beautiful woman before, but I just can't place it. And then, of course, I-Ching's like, oh, you know what they say about beauty? Like, shut up. So she's just like, okay. But then they get off the plane and she sees this woman again near a hotel and then kind of like in the remote village that they're going to.
She's also dressed like a witch.
Also dressed like a witch.
She's wearing like I mean, I think just from a distance, it looks like she's wearing like a pointy witch hat.
I mean, that is fitting once we know who this person is. But
so they go.
Spoiler alert: it's Catwoman with a blonde wig.
Well, maybe she is blonde because she was blonde in the animated series. Was she?
No, she's usually a brunette. But she was a blonde in the animated series. And I mean, I don't know. She might be a blonde at this time, and she wears a wig, but usually she's a brunette.
I feel like you're probably right. It probably is a wig.
Yeah. They like go on a mountain trying to find this village.
Yes.
And they have a guide, and there's a storm, and it's like really terrible blizzard conditions, and their guide like disappears.
I think he just ditches them.
I think he says, "Fuck it, you guys are just going to die on this mountain." And you know what? He's right. Because why are you going up the mountain in those conditions? So that happens, and then Wonder Woman thinks she loses I-Ching, but she doesn't. And then they go into a cave?
Yeah, so what happens is she just kind of like, they grab a bunch of supplies, they find like a hole in the mountain, and they're like, all right, well, this is a chain. This is we can...
let's get a fire.
Hang out here. She lights a match, and she realizes there's another entrance in this cave. The
flame is blowing towards the back of the cave. And she's like, hey, that's weird. Let's go check this out. So they go towards the back of the cave, and they're like, oh, it feels warmer back here. And all of a sudden they like, it's kind of like in the X-Men where Magneto and Professor X like go into the Lost World, where it's like the
Savage Land.
Yeah, Savage Lands, that's it. Because it's like this super nice,
like lush green area.
Perfect area, like inside a goddamn mountain.
It's like fucking Skartaris.
Yeah.
You know, warlords hanging out and stuff. But so they find this, and they walk in, they see the green Buddha.
Yes.
A green Buddha, and it has the fist of flame in its forehead.
Yes.
It's, again, here's another one where like everybody just shut up.
Right.
It's like Wonder Woman's like, we should take off our winter clothes. And he's like, yes, it is useless as a cocoon to a full-winged butterfly. Can we just get you guys walking?
Yeah, could you just shut up?
So she uses, so Wonder Woman does sneaks, and they both sneak. And this is the thing where I don't understand. I understand what they're trying to say, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
For such skill of Diana and the incredible I-Ching that they can disable without hurting. How?
What?
you don't hurt them, so that means they're fine. Do they run away? Do they give up? Because if they're hurt, they're if they're disabled somehow,
right? You take away the ability for this person to fight you. Do you maybe they just stun them?
But if you still hurt, you still have to hurt somebody to stun them.
Maybe they have a way of doing it where it just kind of stuns them for a second, like a fainting goat.
Because I-Ching.
Maybe these guys are like fainting goats.
Do you think they faint before they get hit? Is that what
I think whatever I-Ching knows how to do, it makes them just like stiffen up and fall over.
Oh, maybe farts.
Maybe
fart-ching.
Sure.
Because he's literally punching a dude, and it's like we're not hurting him.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So and so they're basically trying to get up this mountain, up to where this Buddha is. And
this Wonder Woman's like, you stay here, I-Ching. I'm going to climb up this mountain.
You're here, talk to these rocks.
Yeah, hang out here. So she climbs up the mountain. She gets to the jewel, and she almost gets like sliced by a huge guy.
Big guy.
Big boy.
Big guy.
with a sword, and so she fights him. She disarms him, whatever, she wins. And then she takes the thing, and that's when she's just like, then she becomes like, basically it's like Frodo in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the Precious.
Yeah, it's the Precious. Whenever you touch the ring and people are like, oh, they like freak out and like, want it or whatever. That's what happens to her. So she's like staring at it, and she doesn't realize that somebody's coming for her, and she gets whacked in the back of the head by Catwoman.
And Catwoman picks up, and she's like, "Oh man!"
And she's like, "Woo!" And she is like, "My precious."
She's like, she's doing that, and then another dude shows up and hits her with a stick.
Yeah, so everyone's getting hit with shit in
Yeah.
this fucking book.
And
so Wonder Woman and Catwoman are both out at this point,
right? And they're with like these guys who basically are worshiping the
So they're taken to the headquarters of where these dudes live, and it's like,
yo, we got a sweet fire pit in our headquarters.
There's a giant fire pit, and that's when they tie Catwoman and Wonder Woman above it. Kind of like well,
it's supposed to be like it's like
So you know what, like, you ever see those, like, when you're jumping on a trampoline and people have that, like,
the harnesses.
That's what they're in.
Yeah.
It's not like they're, tied with their hands behind their back, like roped together, going to be tossed in this pit.
This is like, basically American gladiators. What they're doing here. They're 100%. Like jousting in the air with swords.
They're going to go up the aggro crag next.
Oh, you know what this is? This is like
Guts.
Yes, but also Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh yeah.
When they're like when the Mad Max and Master Blaster are like swinging around the dome, and they got the fucking weapons and shit.
Also,
not as cool. This isn't nearly as cool.
Also, Mad Max Fury Road, because the guy with the guitar is also in one of these harnesses.
Oh yeah, and there's fire.
And there's fire.
Man, he's probably in the back. You can't see him, but he's in the background.
He is. Yeah.
This is actually a shared universe.
What's the Doof Warrior or something? He has a name.
The Doof Warrior?
Yeah, that guy has a name. It's like the Doof Warrior or something. I can't remember what it is.
I'll take your word for it. So Wonder Woman's like, well, look, Catwoman's trying to kill me, but I'm going to like try to not kill her because I already killed that one dude back in wherever we live, and my bloodlust has been sated. So I will try to see if we can get out of this alive. But Wonder Woman,
the Doof Warrior,
okay,
Doof Warrior. Yeah.
So they're fighting, and Wonder Woman's, of course, giving away her fucking, just telling everybody.
She's just talking.
She's cutting a promo.
The whole time. Because I-Ching's not there. She's like, well, someone's got to fill this silence. If there's silence, I might be alone with my thoughts. And then I'll start thinking about how I lost my powers. And everything's going to get real dark. So I'm just going to run a fucking monologue here for the next however many panels.
Well, she talks about being Diana Prince, and like, she's like, oh shit.
You're Wonder Woman, but you don't have any powers. She's like, but I still have courage. And you're like, shut up. So they just talk, and then they're like, hey, how about we talk about how we're going to work together right in front of these dudes? And it's like, good idea. So that's what they do. They're like, you swing that way and I'll swing this way, and we'll cut our ropes, and then we'll be, teammates or whatever. Yeah. So they fall to the ground, and they're like, all right, well, we're going to have a truce right now. We're going to fight these dudes.
Yeah, there's a big brawl. The main guy comes at her with a sword, and she uses the power of judo to essentially just trip him. Like, as this guy's falling into the pit of flame, he's like, I am disgraced, I perish.
That's my favorite part of this whole fucking thing. Is he's dying. He's like, I'm disgraced. I perish. And he throws himself headlong into the fire pit.
Well, she trips him though.
Well, she also murders him.
Yep.
But then she's like,
she murdered like two of these dudes.
But then she says, he threw himself into the fire pit.
Again, Wonder Woman in the 70s was full of bloodlust, and she needed to murder at least two people every issue.
Yeah, because she was so upset about losing her powers.
So she was upset. So
that's what I think.
Yeah, so they kill the main guy, and a bunch of the other guys in the group are just like, "Durr." So they just kind of sit there and they don't fight anymore.
Yeah, because they're so surprised that their supreme leader, quote, threw himself into the fire.
He tripped.
He accidentally tripped.
Jason Todd didn't really throw that rapist tripped.
Oh, that's right. He didn't actually kill him.
Yeah.
Tripped, in quotes. So yeah.
So Catwoman, they go to grab this stone, and they're like, look, let's not fuck each other over for a minute.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where the hell she finds I-Ching. She just is like running.
He's just there now. He's like, it's me, I-Ching.
Wonder Woman's like, hey, you're just hanging around.
He was like tied up, but we never saw how they captured him. I guess it doesn't matter.
And Wonder Woman's like, here's a joke. And he's like, fuck your jokes. And they go run away they try to escape. And actually what happens is Catwoman's like, for some reason, she hired Johnny Double.
Yeah, to find this
Fist of Flame. And a rival gang found out about it, and the rival gang is led by Lu Shan, who is I-Ching's daughter. I-Ching's like, my daughter, she's like, Catwoman's like, it's Lu Shan, and it's like, my daughter, and Wonder Woman's like, and a woman who hates me.
That's right. That was my favorite part. It was just like, and a woman who hates me.
And then out of nowhere, reality warps, and like wherever mountain they are in just disappears, and they end up.
Yeah, it like dissolves, and it says like reality dissolves, and then they're like falling. So wherever they just were, they're all like dumped into this whirlpool, and then it looks like they land in like the Middle Ages, because there's like dudes with swords, like big broadswords and kilts and shit, and you're like, wait, what's happening? And they're just on the ground. Time travel, I'm assuming.
So they time travel to this.
But this is not in the book. So it ends here with them falling.
Well, is this the next issue?
This is the end of this issue that we're just talking about.
This is confusing. Why
I told you there's no break. It's really confusing.
Things.
You have to, yeah. So this is where this issue ends.
Come on.
Yeah, right? So it ends with them falling and landing on the ground in front of these like middle-aged looking, like from the Middle Ages.
Yeah, they're not men of a certain age.
They're not 40.
It's not Ray Romano.
They're just dudes who look like they're from the Middle Ages.
Right.
And they're just on the ground in front of them. And that's how this issue ends.
So these two dudes are Fafherd and the Grey Mouser. They're sword and sorcery heroes appearing in stories written by American author Fritz Lieber.
Okay.
And there was a number of books released with these characters in them.
Okay.
And the first of which was in 1970.
So they're not that old.
Yeah, you would think that because
I thought when you first started reading that, I was like, oh, these must be dudes from like the 30s, and like, you know, DC has owned them after they bought all these other comic companies or whatever, and these guys have been around for a long time. Nope, been around for 2 years.
I don't quite understand why you would just pick these. Well, okay, they just started Sword of Sorcery, and I guess
crossover.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to kind of put these characters together. Basically, they're like Conan, like the main guy, the Fafherd, because it's spelled Fafhrd.
Sure.
Fafherd is like a barbarian. He's like a Conan type, and then Mouser is like a thief.
Okay.
It's just such a random thing to happen at the end of this book, nonetheless. I don't understand, because basically the next issue is like the only thing that they end up appearing in.
Oh.
And then I-Ching dies like a few issues later.
All right.
And that's how that ends.
It's hard to tell how that ends because of the way they've laid out this trade.
Yeah. So, but that's it for Wonder Woman number 201 from August 1972.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep reading the rest of this?
I would read the rest of this. It's weird.
It is weird.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
And we have earlier trades of this, so we could probably definitely get way into this. Not that
It's not my favorite Wonder Woman.
I'm intrigued by it, but
I like it more than Bike Shorts Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Bike Shorts Wonder Woman.
It's awful.
But that's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. We will be back next week with maybe a longer show. Maybe there's some. I don't know. Is there anything happening?
I don't know. We'll have to look.
Because Birds of Prey came out,
and then nothing.
Maybe we should actually watch things.
Well, Red Sun is supposed to be available soon for.
Oh, the DC thing?
Yeah.
We still got to finish watching Doom Patrol.
Yes, we do.
I got a lot of Doom Patrol to watch. But anyways, thanks for listening, folks. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the show on Facebook at Worst Collection Ever. And you can email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get the show, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Please give us a good rating and tell your friends. That's how we grow this podcast. So once again, folks, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.